Hi, Julie Torrance here. So I'm in my 9 or 10 minutes or less. Do something every day in art. Be it, I'm just knocking things over. In your art journal, in something. So what do I have? I've got my art journal. I've got my Prismacolor, and this is the water-soluble colored pencils. So what are some of the things that can get in your way? So let's talk about these. I call them roadblocks. And what are some of your roadblocks? And I am just blindly grabbing a color. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe you're just feeling kind of nervous and it's just keeping you from getting into your art journal. It can happen. Maybe you're feeling blue. That's understandable. I don't know what kind of a day you had. And I know that if I'm feeling blue, it can be hard sometimes to just sit down and do some art. What are some of the things? What about if you're just plumb busy? Life is getting busier and busier and busier. And it can be your children, it can be your spouse, it can be anything that is adding on top of your own busyness that's making it worse. Let's think about some more. What are some other things that can get in our way because our life is just in such a state that we just can't feel like getting up and working in the art journal? What about illness? Maybe you've got a cough. Maybe you've got a cold. Who knows? When you're sick, sometimes this can seem insurmountable, even if it's only 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. That can seem like an eternity when you're ill. Or maybe you're not ill, but you're just suffering with some pain. I think we can all relate to that. We get a terrible headache or maybe a terrible bout of arthritis. All of these things can just make us not feel like it. What about we're just plain old lazy? And I have to admit, sometimes that's my thing. Sometimes I am just lazy. I'm in a lazy mood. I'm having a lazy day. And I just don't feel like picking up even a pencil to do something like this. So what about all these things? Well, they all deserve validation. They are valid. And I am not trying to make you feel bad or put you down because you're having one of these kinds of a days. These things are also real. Even laziness, it's not just in your head. Maybe you're just tired. And there's 1,000 reasons, 1,000,000 reasons that is true. So the reasons that you may not want to get into an art journal are valid and they are real. And I am not discounting them for a moment. Just like I appreciate when people don't discount it when I have this kind of a thing. So is it something we can overcome? Can we overcome? This is a question that only you can answer, but I can maybe give you some tips or some things that might be able to help. So I've done all of this in these watercolor pencils, and I'm sure you've already guessed what I'm going to do. What about the roadblocks? If it is something you can do something about, do it. But if it isn't, then it isn't. There are things that I have been known to call a relative or a friend and say, you know what, this is going down in my life. And they'll just say, well, tonight, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, and it's true. And that can cause anxiety, especially when the answer is there's nothing you can do about it. But there's a lot of things that can cause anxiety. And sometimes it's just our bodies. Sometimes there's no reason at all that you can put your finger on, but you're just feeling anxious. And that's valid and that's real. Maybe you're having a blue day. Well, to tell you the truth, sometimes that's when I get the best results to help lift my blues by just getting in my art journal. Too busy? What I recommend for too busy is keep your art journal out. Don't put it in a cupboard. Don't shut it in a drawer. Keep it out, lay it out with a pen or a pencil or a crayon, someplace that you see it. And that way, even when you didn't think you had time, when you see it, it'll remind you, oh, you know what? I do have a few minutes, because it's not always these roadblocks. We just kind of forget about it. Illness? Well, of course, if you're ill and you need to go to the doctor, do it. But sometimes, yes, we're ill. We've already been to the doctor and we just have to wait it out. Give yourself some grace. If you're too ill to work in your journal, if you've got too much pain and it's just even painful to hold a pen or pencil, I've been there. Then again, give yourself some grace. Lazy for me, and this is just me, and all of this, I'm just giving you my own hints. Lazy for me can fall right under that one, which was the blues. So sometimes if I start thinking about what I could do instead, mop a floor, do a load of laundry, all of a sudden, this book doesn't look so bad. Sometimes I'm just tired. I work the midnight shift, and I'm trying to sometimes sleep in the day, sometimes sleep in the night. Sometimes I just work really hard. Then if you can find something to do in your art journal that's maybe a little bit simpler, don't tax yourself, even if it's just a scribble mark, or maybe just slapping some watercolor or some colored markers in it and just have it for the next time. That might help. I do consider all these things valid reasons, and they are real. I am not a fan of, hey, you've got nothing to be sad about. Hey, there's nothing to worry about. No, if you have those feelings, they are real. So I hope some of these things may help you to overcome some of these roadblocks. Obviously, I'm not erasing them all. I can't. Only time and whatever other help you need. Like I said, if you're sick and you need to go to the doctor, we'll do that. If you're just suffering from an illness, pain, and you've done all you can, give yourself some grace. Give yourself a break. But I would say the main thing that I'm not going to erase, that I'm going to put on here, is leave the journal out. Leave it out where you can see it, where you get a little gentle reminder that, hey, it's here, and maybe I can just spend a little time in giving my hands a workout, getting my hand-eye coordination a workout, and maybe I'll feel a little better. See you in the next video. Bye now.